Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News, and we've got a video about pilot Peter and why he happily avoided Bachelor in Paradise. He took the time off to go on the show, and he's telling his podcast, I am so glad that I didn't end up doing that malarkey. Then he also talks to Jason Tartick about what he had to do to even become the Bachelor with regards to taking time off from his flying schedule. And Jason mentions what he had to do to take time off from his work to go on the show. It's interesting. It's always an interesting conversation when Jason Tartick is involved, when you're talking finances. And Peter mentions what's more lucrative, being an influencer or being a pilot. We'll get into all that. Fly your way to my Instagram at DNeals, land on my page and hit the follow button. And also patreon.com/Dave Neal. We had our largest Patreon episode ever today, the one I'm recording right now behind the scenes. On this Patreon episode, I will go to it right now so you can see it. I did my final discussion of what went down over the weekend in response to people not taking a liking to basically my core identity. So I wrote final thoughts on Reddit, work with Dave. You can go to that if you want to watch it. I set a timer even. I set a 10-minute timer. I was like, I'm only going to talk about this for 10 minutes. I probably talked about it for 30. So if you want that extra content and you can hear about specifically what went down, my response to it, and where I stand, how I feel. Nothing personal has changed with me. Our YouTube channels only keep growing, but of course, not everyone's cup of tea. Crack an egg to make an omelet, and we're going to do just that as we listen to this discussion. Like I said, first, I'm going to have what Peter says on his podcast regarding mental health and the leads not being protected by the producers, and that's why he didn't go on Bachelor in Paradise. And then we're going to go over to what he said to Jason Tartick. Of course, Katie Thurston had posted this. So much for protecting your lead in their mental health with regards to Clayton Eckhard and how he came off on this past episode of The Bachelorette. Episode 2 tonight, live stream on my end, 1 hour before the East Coast, episode 7 p.m. East Coast, and then right after at 10 p.m. East Coast. If you want to check out the show and hang out with us, we will be there. Hit your alerts. But Katie said they don't protect their leads, and she's probably one that would know it. And now we have another lead discussing why he passed on the opportunity to put his life in the hands of producers.
To the end of the episode, dude was on the chopping block.
It was so petty. Like, I'll be one to admit when I first knew he was going to be the Bachelor, I wasn't a fan. I never talked shit about him,
Clayton.
but I just wasn't a fan of him, and I feel bad for him now. He's been getting this from start to finish and some now. It's just, I think the production team did a bad job of doing that. I think this guy might be going through it. I don't know. I just feel bad.
He got done dirty.
I'll be honest. I didn't like it. I don't get the constant. Listen, you want to know my honest opinion of what I actually feel?
Yes, please.
I am so damn happy I did not go on Paradise because I had a long talk with one of the producers, and I was just like, man, these people are just full of it. Literally try to convince me here. They're like, listen, we know that, there's not the best relationship we have with previous Bachelors, especially like on the guy side, right? Maybe not so much Bachelorette side, but on the Bachelor side, they were telling me like, we acknowledge that we can see that. We understand that the, Bachelor Nation sees it. And for whatever reason, these relationships kind of sour post, being the Bachelor.
So Peter's saying the producers are aware that the relationships, not the interpersonal love relationships, but the relationship that people have with the Bachelor sour after the show. So I think what they're saying is the audience, primarily women, 90%. As far as I know, I don't know Bachelor's demographics. My channel is 90 to 92% women. So I'm imagining that 9 out of 10 people who watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette are women. Could be wrong. Maybe that's just the people that watch the extra content. Point being, the Bachelors realizing that they are editing the show in a way where the guys are coming off looking like chumps. Is that because they're only casting chumps or because they're doing a lot of dramatic editing to make it look that way?
And they're like, we are actively trying to change that. We don't want that to be the case anymore. And that was like I would maybe say like a recruitment tool to try to get me to, agree to do Paradise. Like, listen, we have. I love it.
No, Peter, we've changed. No. We're not doing that anymore. No, hold on, send it back. No, it's like Peter's. You call him a lot of things. He's not dumb, and he knows that they're not changing.
Your side, and then I see, and I wanted to believe it, right? And then I see this. I'm like, holy shit! Thank God, I just dodged a bullet.
So they told him that no, we're changed. Hold on. Do you have the Clayton clown costume? Okay, good. Hold on. No. Peter, pumpkin eater, Peter, windmill Peter. Trust me, we're not the same. We're different. We're gonna change everything. Do you have the teen a cappella group that's gonna sing "We Hate Clayton"? Clayton sucks. Okay, so we'll see you in Sausalito, Mexico. You'll be there and then we've got the guy with the thing that's gonna. Okay, one thing after another. They don't change. All right. But I do, because my content keeps on getting funnier. Is that true? Pat on my back.
Like it's just I don't understand it. Move on. Don't be showing this guy so much hate. Yes, did he do things perfect? Of course not. Are Gabby and Rachel going to do things perfect? Of course not. They're already admitting here on the first episode that you can see how it's easy to fall for more than one person. But I don't know. I didn't like it. It was some cheap shots, and I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah. Agreed.
It was just a little bit petty.
I love the other guy. Yeah, agreed. Well, way to add to the podcast.
Saying that, so Clayton's season started with them throwing jabs at him once he was announced.
They literally
as
haven't
the Bachelor.
stopped with him. Seriously, before his season, then his season, and now the next season.
Susie posted a TikTok, which was like, "Keep my wife's name out."
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, it's like they haven't stopped, but it's okay. Clayton's 6'4". He's strong. He's white. It won't. I'm regurgitating comments people had. It's okay. He can handle it. Look, if you don't like toxic masculinity, don't fuel it by saying because of his height, looks, or skin color that he can handle it. We've all got the same beating heart. We all bleed red. It sucks for all of us. All right, so I'm going to play some of these clips. First one on Peter's podcast with Jason Tartick, who, by the way, whether you like Bachelor podcasts or not, information and entertainment, this podcast delivers all the information. If you care or don't care about finances, it's still a great listen to hear contestants talk about money. Here he is saying, what's better? What makes more, being an influencer or being a pilot?
You've done really well with social media. You've obviously
they got the Top Gun music in the background. All right, quick, let's grow a mustache.
And you've been a pilot. Which of the two do you think you can make more money with?
I'll say pilot. This whole influencing world
Yeah.
is insane. The quick money that can be made and the amounts that can be made, it's insane. Those numbers you're not necessarily seeing, being a pilot.
All right, so he's saying pilots. I'm just talking over it because it's copyrighted music. He's saying pilots make more in the long term.
And so I have 35 years of a career of consistent salary, of consistent 401k contributions. And so I would say for sure, flying.
Now, definitely not the sexier answer. Well, honey, I'm going to have 401k contribution. It's like, I know, but can you get me into the DJ booth for the, show at Coachella?
I don't think Instagram's going to be around anymore.
So okay. I like what Peter's saying, that technically pilots will last longer, but there's so many variables. I mean, I don't believe pilots will be automated anytime soon, but that's a variable. You never know. And also, as an influencer, you could spin that following into other things and make a ton more money. If someone's got 1.5 million followers like he does, you could do things like what Caitlin Bristow's doing, and she's creating an empire, and she's going to be able to retire way before he will as a pilot. But then again, there's also no problem with trying to do both. He can be an influencer. He's got a huge following, and that should be super valuable to Delta. Here's what he said regarding...
I don't think I've ever told...
regarding getting on The Bachelor and how he asked for time off and got denied. This is very interesting.
Anyone this. I get asked to go do The Bachelor. The only way I can do this is if I get a leave of absence. It got all the way up to the top to Ed Bastian, the CEO of Delta. There was like two teams, two sides that were fighting, saying, listen, this is a good press opportunity for Delta. Like, we think this could help us. And then the other side that was like completely against it. And they ended up saying no. So I'm like, well, shit, I can't do it. I guess this is not happening. I got really, really serious about some manifestation. And I was like, no, I'm doing it. I'm going to find a way to make this happen. I'm not saying no to this. It's going to happen. And so I made it happen. I don't think I've ever told anyone this. I get asked to go do The Bachelor.
So Jason said this, excuse me. I used my 29 days of built up personal time off and then went on leave of absence when I went on The Bachelorette. Pilot Pete only had enough vacation to take the first 2 weeks off to go on Bachelorette. For the rest of the weeks through his season of being The Bachelor, he was able to work in between and then diligently reassign flights that were allocated to him. He cold called every first officer at Delta and the pilots had his back. Brilliant strategy, and his manifesting paid off. How cool is that? How cool is that he did that? And I love the camaraderie we're finding within the Bachelor world. I'm sorry, within the pilot world. I didn't have this prepared, but in case you missed my content earlier, we discussed Peter Weber and his dad retiring. Again, I don't know if I'll be able to pull this up in time. Let's see if it's in the reels. But I said Delta. Was he working at Delta and now he's at United? It could have been that he was working at Delta. But check this video out.
This is the story of an airline. It begins a century ago. Wait, let's find a better way in. This is the story of an airline, one that's a force for good. And it's got everything. Romance, suspense, setbacks, seatbacks. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that fuels a plane to help protect the planet. It's a rescue story.
So I'm wondering
A
if he's
connecting
in this.
flight told over and over and over again. And a coming-of-age story about a little girl who dreamed she could fly, and then did. Trust me, you won't want to put this one down. In fact, you can't because you're in it. Yes, you! Along with thousands of other hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond.
Did we just see
Making
him?
the world a happier, friendlier, safer, greener, more inclusive, more fascinating place.
Boy, this makes me want to run through a brick wall.
No, wait, that's not right. This story doesn't have an ending. But that's kind of the point of the story. We're never finished. Because
in this?
this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
All right. I mean, look, nice commercial, but that's not the one we wanted. I wanted the one where Pilot Pete it does a send-off with his dad. Oh, geez. I already made a video about this. Do we not have it? I thought it would have been that one. Is it this one?
This is your captain speaking. A new trailer for Top Gun.
New Top Gun
Maverick
trailer.
just dropped, and it pulls some serious G's. Let's check it out.
Okay, so anyway, okay, that's not it. All right, I guess I can't find it. You know where it is. Maybe it's in the video. Maybe it's in videos because it's longer than a reel. Oh, this is it. Have a watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special flight for us here at United Airlines. Our captain today is my hero and someone I've looked up to my entire life.
So let me get this right. There's the captain and then the first officer. So the first officer is like the co-pilot. So he's been a co-pilot for a Delta, I'm assuming, and that's where he had to contact other co-pilots first. What the hell is it they were called? He had to contact them to get them to replace him on his flights when he was, hooking up in a windmill.
My dad. I have the honor of serving as his first officer on his retirement flight today. This will be the most special flight of my career.
I feel like I was born to fly, but even more specifically, I feel like I was born to be a United pilot, and a huge reason was to potentially fly with my dad at least once, and to be able to do it on his retirement flight. I can't believe that it's happened.
He was exactly like I was growing up. He was always interested in airplanes right from the start, and he just pursued it just like I did and made it all happen.
We're in an aviation family because I was a flight attendant. He always
Sweet
says
numbs.
to us all the time, United raised me.
Oh,
It's been a really cool relationship to have a dad do exactly what I've always dreamt to do and then be able to follow in his footsteps. Just seeing how much his career has meant to him and how much happiness it's brought him. This is a memory I will never forget.
Literally, we have the best job in the world. You know, here it is 37 years, and I wish I could start my career all over again because I've just loved every minute of it.
I always tell my husband, yes, it's your time to retire, but the legacy will continue with the Webers at United.
no pressure.
My dad has been my biggest inspiration. I've always wanted to be just like him, and I'm gonna do my absolute best to make him proud.
Congratulations, Captain Peter Weber, on 37 years with United Airlines and inspiring 2 children to follow in your footsteps. Look, if that don't make you feel a certain way, I don't know what will, folks. I don't know what will. So let's go to Pilot Pete discussing how little pilots actually make when they're starting off.
Pilot starting pay is probably like $35 an hour.
That seems low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
And
yeah.
then as you move up and you move into like the big or international flights at like a Delta or United.
Yeah, I mean, to show kind of the disparity, I would say top pay rate right now for a maxed out senior captain for a major airline is around, I think, $355.
Okay, gotcha. So 355. I mean, that's look at that.
So
That's like
I
10
wish they would just say how much the average pilot makes. But they do make a lot. They're again, not to negate what pilots do. They're like bus drivers, except if they make a mistake, the whole plane crash. You know what I mean? So like clearly they got to know what they're doing. Emily says, is the bro a pilot too? Yeah, the bro's a pilot. He's younger, so I don't know how far along he is on his journey. But that's where they're at. So I don't know if we have any other clips we want to play while we're here. Let's see what this
What the
one is.
hell is going on? I had more airport issues than I care to even talk about on the pod. Like everything is delayed. What's your take as a pilot?
Definitely seen travel rebound like crazy right now. I've heard forecasts like this is gonna be the busiest summer season ever in the history of the airlines. There's a pilot shortage. We have so many pilots that are retiring. The FAA mandated retirement age is 65. So
here's the deal. I know my fiance's in the other room. Tasha, can you hear me? So Pilot Pete works for United. If we can find a flight from LA to Cancun that's United, maybe he can make a call on our behalf so that we can get our dog, who is a emotional support, lovely dog, to fly in the cabin with us so he can be the ring bearer for our wedding. Does that sound like a good idea, Tasha?
That 100% will not work because that is against United's policy. They do not allow.
Tasha says that 100% will not work because that's against their policy. They do not allow dogs. We're boycotting United, everybody. All right. Well, we try to maybe, but he used to work at Delta, so maybe he has some connections there. We'll see if there's some sort of pilot. I was gonna say pirate. Pilots are the pirates of the air. We'll see. Fly pirate airlines where they rob you of your blunder. They blunder you for peanuts. Anyway, folks, blunder me for peanuts and follow me on Instagram. That sounded like a weird metaphor. At Dean Neals, and I'm also on Patreon. You can go check out that video right now. I appreciate all of your support for all of the new members out there. Thank you guys all so much for all the kind words. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. We'll see you all tonight for the pre-episode live stream of week 2 of The Bachelorette. Bye, everybody.